So, do you want to add some power on your serve? And here's something that you could do, and it's very simple, but it could be very difficult to pull off. But before we get into it here, I want to say a quick thank you to Winston Dew for letting me use this video. Check out his channel for some awesome tennis content, and I'll post a link to his channel in the description area. So let's check out Jack's serve here in the front here and check out how good his serve is. So what makes Jack's serve so good and so powerful? Well, I believe it's simply what he does with his front foot. So let's check out his feet real quick here and notice, and on his service stance here, his feet are in a very conventional position, right? His left foot is pointed 45 degrees away from the baseline. Right foot is turned, but he does something a little bit unorthodox. And I don't see this on too many players, whether it's pros or recreationally, where he turns his left foot inward here. So notice this. This is pretty extreme here, where he puts his toes towards the back fence. And I see this sometimes on the beginning of a service stance where the toes are pointed a little bit towards the back, but I don't see many players where they point their toes during the actual service motion, right? They don't turn their toes inward in the actual service motion. And this maybe looks very simple, but maybe a tough thing to do because you may need a certain amount of flexibility and strength to pull this off, right? So he has this front foot inward now, or towards us from our perspective. You could see his knee, right? His knee is quite different from his other knees. It's pointed towards the back fence as well, but this maneuver, I think, helps him create tremendous power on his serve. So as he brings up his right foot now, notice that both feet now in his pinpoint stance is pointed to us. So both toes are pointed to the back fence. This creates this coil, right, with his body here. So notice his torso, his chest is pointed to us. Everything's pointed to us, right? And what he's trying to do is really uncoil into this ball here with everything, with his whole body into that ball. And I believe he's creating that tremendous power just from that simple move alone. And he has great extension, great leg kick there at the end of his follow through. It's just a great serve. And, but again, it's a little unorthodox, right? So you have to be careful a little bit on just trying to do this all out, this front foot pointed towards us. And I would recommend, by practicing this, to just start out in the beginning of your service stance with your feet pointed a little bit towards the back. And that, again, may be a little bit too tough to do as well. It is, again, somewhat unorthodox. Most players don't have that. They just simply point it at a 45-degree angle and keep it that way, right? Sometimes you would see other players like John McEnroe back in the 80s, right? His chest is pretty much pointed to the back fence. His toes are maybe to the side, maybe a little bit towards the back fence. So there are variations around on the beginning of the stances, but what Jack does here is a little different, and it might be helpful to you, right? If you have that flexibility, that athletic ability, you could add some more power on your serve. And I believe the power is generated from the ground up, right? If you push off very well with your feet, you're going to have a very powerful serve. So try this out, this little twist here of your left foot or your front foot to add a little bit more power on your serve. And maybe you could add just 10 or 20 more miles per hour on that serve of yours. If you enjoyed this video, kindly do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.